This is part 9 of a 9-part video series showing how to rebuild a Toyota solid front axle. It can apply to 1979 through 1985 Toyota pickups and 1984 and 85 Toyota 4Runners. Additionally, these instructions can also loosely apply to many Toyota Land Cruisers. In today's presentation, we will be showing how to install the locking hub assembly. The recommended tools are vice grip pliers, snap ring spreader pliers, extension, ratchet, torque wrench, a 14 and 13 millimeter deep socket, a 10 millimeter standard socket, and an M8 by 1.25 by 40 millimeter bolt. The parts you'll need are a locking hub assembly, a hub gasket, a hub cover gasket, and all the associated hardware, the nuts, cone washers, and lock washers. Place the locking hub dial in the free position. Remove the hub cover screws using a 10 millimeter socket. Remove the hub cover and set it aside. Install an 8 millimeter 1.25 bolt in the end of the axle shaft and lightly snug it using a 14 millimeter socket. Position the hub body gasket on the hub studs. Install the hub body, making sure the studs and dowel pins are located properly. It may also be necessary to turn the pinion shaft in order to align the splines of the axle with the splines of the inner hub. Using vice grip pliers, pull the axle outward in preparation for the snap ring, which will be installed later. Remove the 8 millimeter bolt. Install all 6 cone washers. Then install the lock washers. And then the nuts. Using snap ring spreader pliers, install the snap ring on the axle. It may be necessary to reinstall the 8 millimeter bolt and pull on it, keeping the axle from slipping back inside the hub. Make sure the snap ring sits all the way down in the groove. Snug the hub body nuts in a progressively tighter crisscross pattern using a 13 millimeter socket. Further tighten the hub body nuts, continuing in the progressively tighter crisscross pattern until 20 foot-pounds is reached. Install the hub cover in a trial and error approach until the splines of the clutch aligned with the grooves in the hub body and all the bolt holes align properly as well. Also, double check that the gasket is in place and properly positioned. Install the hub cover bolts and washers. Snug these bolts by hand in a progressively tighter crisscross pattern using a 10 millimeter socket. Once these bolts become snug, continue tightening them using a torque wrench in the same progressively tighter crisscross pattern until 8 foot-pounds is reached. Be careful not to over-tighten these screws as they are easily stripped. Then lastly, install the axle housing vent. This concludes not only this presentation, but it also concludes our 9 video series on how to rebuild a Toyota solid front axle. We hope this information has been helpful. If we can further assist you with parts, supplies, or technical support, we invite you to log on to our website at www.lowrangeoffroad.com or by calling us at 801-805-6644.